Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today, we have some League of Legends action for you. I am Lucas, aka Lucky, joined by...
I'm Gage, aka Bordy1.
And we are going to cast some League for you today. So you have an iRacer and an Overwatch player, but you know, we like to dabble in other games. We like to play other games besides our mains, and we both have pretty good experience in League of Legends, so I'm excited to cast it today. How about you?
I'm pretty excited. It's my first time casting League of Legends, but I've been playing the game a lot recently, and I think that it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, not only first time casting League, but first time casting in general.
Overall.
Yeah, and today we are going against Bowling Green. So we played them in Overwatch,
yes.
just not last Tuesday, but 2 Tuesdays ago. I think that makes sense. And Ball State did get the 3-0 map win, but here now we face them in League of Legends, also Bowling Green State University. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Both these teams are pretty strong, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that we're going to have a pretty good look here. We have some new players this semester, so I'm really excited to see what we can make happen.
Yeah, and I think... Okay, yeah, so now we can go into what is League of Legends, is what I have on my paper here. So Bodhi, what is League of Legends? It's a pretty broad question.
Yeah, it's a really, really broad question, actually.
Yeah, League of Legends is what's a MOBA.
Yes.
So that stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, and that essentially means it's a 5v5. You're third person, your camera's up, so you'll see it won't be a first-person shooter game. It'll be a third-person point of view, and essentially it's just a game where you start early, you try to farm gold, you try to farm coins, and as you get stronger and you build more items and you essentially level up, just like a single-player game. You just get better and better and better, and you try to win the team fights. And it's first to destroy the Nexus. The Nexus are crystals at either side of the map. First team to destroy all the turrets, all the inhibitors, and get to that Nexus wins the game.
Yep. I think you got it pretty good.
Yeah.
The main thing to really keep in mind is that the champions start off very weak, and they have to scale really hard. So specifically, someone like Ali playing there,
Yep.
he plays ADC. Those champions start off very weak. He's looking over. Like,
yeah, he's smiling as he's eating food as we're talking about.
those champions start off very weak, and so generally you want to keep those more vulnerable champions alive early, unlike the top laner. We don't care about those people as much.
Yeah, there's so much we could talk about League of Legends. Hitting this like a base, just kind of like what is happening is kind of like that little thing I described, but there's so much we could go in depth about, all the different roles and stuff. That we will talk about more as we go through the stream. But you mentioned different champions. Now, there are approximately 170 different champions, and Bordy and I have an idea for a game here. So we're going to go back and forth naming champions, and the first one to repeat or, take too long or not name a champion loses. So let's see. I think you should start, and let's see how long we can go for.
Leona.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Vi.
Rel.
Master Yi.
Twitch.
Kate. Caitlyn, fine.
Aphelios.
Okay. Jin.
Ezreal.
Victor.
Ari.
Jinx.
Gangplank.
Jace.
Rumble.
Ari. Oh, Akali.
Ooh.
I said Akali.
Okay.
That's fair.
Mbessa.
Okay. Mel.
Nunu and Willump.
Okay. Warwick.
Skarner.
Rammus. It's gonna go forever, I just realized.
It's really hard to keep in mind the repeats here.
No,
Vayne.
no, I hit zero.
It's so
Nocturne, Thresh, Morgana.
Bro, there's so the repeats. It's really hard to keep in mind the repeats that we've got here.
It's all good.
You said no repeats. Oh no.
Yeah, no, that's what you want to do with repeats? Ari.
No.
No.
I don't know. It's it made it a lot. There was so much more pressure to keep in mind the really old ones.
Yeah, no, right. And then next up we have a champion highlight, Mel. So I don't know too much what that is, but I'm excited to hear about it. I think we have do we have a video? Oh, here we go. Okay, nice. So Mel, if you guys do not know, she is the newest champion introduced to League of Legends. She was one of the main focuses on Arcane, and something happened to her. I'm not going to spoil it because it is pretty new. Something happened to her in Arcane Season 2 where she becomes kind of powerful. So after Riot did that, they decided to put her into the game after they added her mom, Mbessa. And yeah, so that's just her, and these are all of her abilities. So if you do not know, the P, that's not actually what happens when you press P on the keyboard. P just stands for passive. Q, W, and E, those are your main abilities. Those actually happen when you press Q, W, or E. And then R is going to be the ultimate. So if you want to start, we can start explaining these.
Yeah, so on her passive, Searing Brilliance, whenever Mel uses an ability, she gains 3 bonus projectiles with a maximum of 9 on her next attack. And whenever she deals damage through an ability or an attack, she applies Overwhelm, which is another part of her passive, which can stack infinitely. If an enemy hit by Mel has enough Overwhelm damage, the stacks are consumed and they execute the target.
Wow.
Then for her Q, Radiant Volley, Mel fires a barrage of projectiles that explode on a location, dealing magic damage repeatedly to enemies in that area. The W is very interesting, actually, and very strong. It forms a barrier around her that reflects enemy projectiles back at the attacker, and it prevents her from taking damage.
So it's a Genji deflect?
Yes, except projectile has a very broad term here.
Okay,
So consider Nautilus throwing his hook at Mel. She can hook Nautilus to her.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's projectile is a very loose term in League of Legends.
Okay.
So, like pike hook, thresh hook, all of them can be reflected technically.
Interesting.
Yeah. So very, very strong ability. I'm pretty sure it actually already got hot fixed because it was too strong in some ways. Anyways, for the E, Solar Snare, Mel fires a Radiant Orb forward, which roots those at its center, and it slows enemies and deals damage over time. And that one is also very powerful because you EQ, you can get just guaranteed burst of damage. Along with the passive, it really just does a lot of burst damage.
Mm-hmm. And then her ultimate R, Golden Eclipse. Mel strikes all enemies marked with Overwhelm regardless of their distance from her, dealing additional damage for each stack of Overwhelm. Ranks of Golden Eclipse increase Overwhelm's damage. So yeah, it seems just like as she builds stacks, she just becomes more and more powerful, it looks like.
Yeah, as she puts stacks on you, eventually when she ults you, you will just die.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter the distance, it doesn't matter how long ago the stacks were applied. Well, I think the stacks do wear off eventually, but if you have those stacks on you and you get low on health, Mel can kill you.
That's crazy. So
Yep.
kind of like, in that sense, a Caitlyn R.
Yes, except there's no range limitation on it.
And you don't have to have vision either?
No.
Wow, yeah. It's pretty powerful.
It's a pretty strong new character. Like I said, she already got hot fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to tone down the strength of some of those abilities a little bit because she was really... Did you play on release day?
I did not know, but I've played against some Mels, and once Mel gets fed, I mean,
yeah, she
it's
was...
pretty over.
Playing on release day was certainly something.
Was
She was around, to say the
she
least.
was around.
Yeah, people usually ban champs on release day.
Mm-hmm.
When she wasn't banned, it was bad.
Okay. Yeah, and I think today we will I think 100%, we will either see a Mel ban or a Mel played.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I think that it's very likely.
Yeah, and I think that puts us straight into the Ball State roster, so we can go ahead and take a look at that. And here we go. We have Silk Flannel playing top, and I believe his in-game name is Blaster. So be careful not to get confused about
We'll
that.
have to keep that in mind.
Remy, our jungler. Wombat Baby, our mid. We got a picture of Ari there. We like that. We have Ali Plane and Chumslog who swap off for ADC, and then Quokka on our support.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, Aliplane is actually new to Ball State this semester. Came from the Netherlands, I believe.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
really, really excited to see this guy play today. We've actually been getting to know him pretty well here in the arena the last few days. He's a great guy.
He is, yeah. Speaks Dutch, which I think like we have
Pretty nice accent.
60% of the players on this team speak our English second language, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Because I believe Quokka and I could be completely wrong here, but Quokka and Remy, I believe, first language Korean, and then as we just talked about, Aliplane, first language is Dutch.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
So yeah, 50% 3 out of the 6 starters. And then we have the Bowling Green roster, which we can also take a look at right now. And that's going to be Skeptic Wave, Ignis, Rose, Nye. Oh, so maybe is that like a clan tag? Do we think he's on Rose, or is that just...
I don't think so. I think Rose, as far as I know, is just a Valorant.
Just Valorant? Okay.
I think Riot just allows two-word names.
I see. Starry Ashes, Vesuvius. Ooh, that's a cool name. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it sounds familiar, but like, I definitely heard Vesuvius somewhere. Just kind of clean. Oh, it's right. It's a volcano. I see. That's naming yourself after a volcano. That's powerful, I think.
That's powerful.
I can't even lie. That's powerful.
We got to know what he's playing. We don't know what role he's playing yet, but I hope we find out.
He goes on like Yumi or something.
that'd be interesting.
We got Vesuvius on Yumi.
Fairy Grimoire.
You know what? I respect it. Zigathy and Mikoshi. So we don't know the rules. One of them I assume is the coach. But yeah, that's your Bowling Green roster.
Yeah, so don't really know much about the Bowling Green roster. Like I said, or like you mentioned earlier, we did play against them in Overwatch. Very different teams, obviously. Yep. But I'm excited to see what they have.
It's just the
same five people. Yeah, that'd be... They're just the best at everything they do, actually. Yep. They don't need anyone else over there at Bowling Green.
Oh, they have 5 esports players. They play Valorant, they play Overwatch. 3 of them play Rocket League.
One of them coaches the Rocket League team, too.
Yeah. That'd actually be. There's got to be some college that has something like that, like a really small college that just every
one
gamer.
like community college.
Yeah, something like that. Surely.
I wouldn't be shocked. It's got to be somewhere in like the Midwest.
Yeah, probably definitely be like a small Midwestern school that's like 50 people.
Oh yeah, they've got like student population. Like
Yep.
their housing is just like a modified hotel.
The Ivy. So we have board for production. The Ivy Tech Esports team. I think.
Really?
Oh, that's a joke. Okay.
Oh.
So I think because I'm pretty sure it's a big school.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know
I've never
much
heard
about
of Ivy
Tech.
Tech. I don't think so.
Maybe I think St. Clair does something like that.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's funny because St. Clair have really strong Overwatch and Valorant teams.
Yeah, St. Clair is very good at Overwatch.
The game I play against them in, their team is not so strong. I'm not gonna say any more on that. The people are very nice, but they're not so strong.
Yeah, we warmed up against St. Clair recently actually, and the lobby crashed multiple times.
Wow.
Yeah, but they were
Canadian servers, am I right?
I think it's because they were Canadian, but they were very nice about it.
Did they go sorry?
They didn't say sorry, but they were very eager to start playing the game again, to say the least.
So what? We talked about Mel. What other champions do you think are like guaranteed to see today?
Okay, well, I think we're probably gonna see a Jace somewhere, maybe a Cassante or Mbessa. I think those are probably
The three strongest tops right now.
I think those are probably the three most common top laners right now. I think Varus is pretty likely as well. I mean, we saw earlier Aliplane was in solo queue thinking of playing the Varus, but I think Varus is even better in team play because of that ultimate. And the poke potential that you have on that character, I think, is very strong. So I think Varus is very likely. I think Ezreal could be another one that's pretty likely to see. And then is like, as well, like probably Skarner or Viego.
Yeah,
Any of those characters you think of as very strong in their role, I think we're probably likely to see any of those picks on either of the teams today.
Yeah, and I do remember, speaking of that jungle role, I remember watching Remy play Vi for one of the ESC matches, and I really want to see that today because Vi is currently my main because back when I played like a year or two ago, I played only Master Yi, and I just like only could jungle. I could not figure out how to lane at all. So I just kind of like stuck with what I wasn't terrible at, which was jungle. And after Arcane released and I watched and I finished, I'm like, dang, that was really good. I want to play Vi again. So Bordy convinced me to
passion.
Bordy literally, we were having dinner with Me98 one night, and he just says, "Why don't we play League?" And I'm like, "Sure," but I'm playing Vi. He's like, "Sure, why not?"
That is how the conversation went.
Yeah, that was it. And then Eric was Me98 was just like, "What he played? Just play Morgana. You'll be fine."
Well, he said that he didn't know who he would play, and I told him that he should do the tutorial, and because it gives you like a choice between three
Master
champions.
Yi, what Master Yi, Misfortune, and Morgana. I think, right?
Don't remember.
Okay.
But I asked we asked what he wanted to do, and we came to the conclusion Morgana was the pick for him. So
Morgana is terrible high rank, I know, but her abilities are straightforward.
She can be impressive
CC
in the lower ranks.
Yeah,
when you're starting the game.
Her CC abilities are really good, and if you're going against someone that doesn't know how to stay out of range of the CCs or avoid the CCs, her Q can just root and give your ADC some free kills.
Yeah, a lot, especially like in the lower ranks. Again, like if you hit that CC, you can usually CC chain pretty well. Something like Caitlyn, she gets to place traps on top of the target for free, and then gets more headshots, just stacks them up, and can lead to a really easy kill. And that's what we had in mind for Eric there. And
I guess for those at home that don't know, CC stands for crowd control, which is any ability that stops, slows you down.
Yes.
So essentially, like, it could root you, it could sleep you, it'll slow you down. Maybe fear is another way of crowd controlling. Just something that doesn't allow the opponent to have their full movement ability. And that's very strong because some CCs take away flash abilities, like take away abilities that you can use to run away. Some CCs just stop you dead in your place, so you literally just can't move. So if you have a champion that has very strong CC skill shots, and you're able to land those, you can get very, very quick advantages.
Yeah, and the difference between those CCs is actually very important. In League of Legends, there's different ones. There's slow, which slows you by a percentage of your total movement speed. There's root, which will just root you in place completely, but you can still act, you can auto-attack, you can use abilities, you can do things of that nature. And then there's stuns, which are you're completely stunned, you can't move, you can't attack, you can't act in any way. And then there's also something called suppressed. This one comes from things like Malzahar ult, Skarner ult, where it will, in Skarner's case, let's say, Skarner can grab you and it suppresses you. It means you can't use anything. You can't do summoner spells, you can't use anything. And that's important because there's a summoner spell called Cleanse, which will remove any CC effects from you, but you can't use them when you're suppressed.
Interesting, yeah. So it's always cool to like think about, because like we play like a wide variety. I don't know why wide variety is so hard for me to say. Wide variety of games. So like Valorant, League, Overwatch. It's cool to see like the parallels between some of the games. So one for me is, I remember when I came back to Brawl Stars, I don't remember what character, but a character also sends someone in a 1v1 to the Shadow Realm. I'm like, oh, so it's a Mordekaiser ult essentially. And you talked about the cleanse. I'm like, oh, so it's a Kiri Suzu or something like that. Yeah. It's just cool to see like, essentially there's only a finite amount of things you can have characters do. Like Zeri and Neon, they look similar and they have similar abilities, but obviously they're different characters and they have their own similarities and differences. But it's always cool to see that since there's only a finite amount of things you can have in a game, there are going to be some parallels, and it's cool to just kind of look at that sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting the direction that games have gone with things like CC. It's almost like a necessary evil, where in a game like Overwatch 1, CC was so strong that they basically completely removed it from the game coming into Overwatch 2, and CC is actually a huge part of League of Legends, where the way you can secure kills most of the time is just by CC chaining someone until they die. Yeah,
because there's so many abilities that every champ, outside of their flash, I think I can confidently say nearly every champ has a Q, W, or E that can get them out of bad situations. The one that I can think of immediately is, Master Yi has his Q, which he can Q onto a minion or an enemy and just try to get away from the fight. Vi has her Q as well, which she can literally just punch through walls.
Yep.
So I think I can confidently say that nearly every champion has some way of getting out. So if you want to secure the kill against a very good player, you have to keep them in place.
Yeah. It's actually, I would be willing to say not almost every champion, a lot of the ADCs.
Okay,
lack that. So like Jhin, Aphelios, neither of them have any sort of movement ability.
I see.
Varus doesn't have any sort of movement ability.
Caitlyn kind of has one with their E.
The E is...
It pushed her back a little bit.
Yeah, it's up there. It's certainly something. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of the time, you don't want these really high damage dealers to have those kinds of movement abilities. And that's why they just kind of... You can usually 2-3 shot them. A strong top laner can get on top of them and kill them. That's why they need to play their spacing really well.
Yeah, essentially you're playing those ADCs a lot of the time like a sniper. A lot of the time you're playing it, you're just in the back line. If you, like when I have ult and we're in a team fight and I'm on Vice, let's say I am looking for the R engage on the ADC. So if there's a Caitlyn, I'm sorry Caitlyn, the Vine Caitlyn, but if there's a Caitlyn out in the open that's a little bit, just a little outside of where her team is playing. Yeah. If I can look for the R into Q, CC, and my team can help follow up with that can be very strong because the ADCs are so squishy.
Yeah, a lot of the time in League, especially in team fights, it's just that one misstep that will get you killed. And I think that we're probably going to see a lot of that today.
Yep. Yeah, just the tiny mistakes, and if the opponent is able to take advantage of those tiny mistakes, that is what can snowball games out of control. And now we can go to match predictions. So I believe it's a best of 3.
Okay.
And these games can last anywhere from realistically 20 minutes to anywhere like hour 10.
Yeah, I'd say, realistically, I think it's probably more likely to stay within about 40, 50 minutes. I think longer games are pretty uncommon up at the higher level.
Yeah.
So I think that we're probably going to see like a couple games about 40 minutes each.
Nice. Yeah, the closer the game is, the longer they last. If a team is able to snowball out of control, that's when you'll see our lower 15-minute games. That being said, I do think that this will be a Ball State sweep 2-0. Bowling Green is obviously a very strong team, but I think Ball State has what they need to beat them.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be a Ball State 2-0 today. I think that we have a lot of talent on the team, and I think that we're just going to come through and beat Bowling Green here in the 2-0.
Yeah, and now I think the players are getting ready behind us. As you can see, we're not quite ready to hop into games, so you get to hear us yap for just a little bit longer.
Perfect.
But yeah, honestly, there's so much to talk about League. And I remember just before we started getting on, we talked about lane prio a lot.
Yes.
So lane prio is pretty big, and it changes and shifts as the game progresses. But if you want to talk more about that.
Yeah, so the example I actually used while explaining it to you, so I said someone like Caitlyn, she has the longest auto attack range in the game, except tied with Aphelios Green Gun.
Yep.
That's an important detail
Yeah,
there.
Aphelios has 4 different?
Five
different guns that he cycles throughout the game. If he runs out of ammo in one, I believe, is when he switches to the next.
Yeah, so you have 2 guns at any time, and you can switch between the 2 using your W.
Okay.
Aphelios only has 2 abilities, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, so his Q will use the ability from the weapon in his main hand, and then the W will switch your offhand and your main hand weapon, and then your E is actually just to show you what weapon is coming next in the order.
Interesting.
But because he has those 5 weapons that each have a Q, he technically has more like 5 abilities, and then each of those weapons has a distinct ultimate too. So
Interesting.
pretty complex character, but I'm actually hoping we see him today here.
He begged our ADC to
Begged
play.
is a strong word.
He got that on 2 knees and said, Ali played, I need the Aphelios.
No, that's not what happened. I asked politely, I asked him, I was like, I'm a big Aphelios enjoyer here. I think that it would be pretty cool to see it here.
Yep.
So Aphelios actually used to be very strong as well. There were times in, I didn't play the game at the time, but there were times in the competitive scene where Aphelios could just delete an entire team.
Wow.
The blue ult, the way it works is you shoot it. It does not a huge amount of damage on the initial blast, but every target it hits will explode like 0.5 seconds later and deal damage in an area around them.
Oh, so it's like Penny from Brawl Stars.
I don't play Brawl Stars.
You've never played Brawl Stars?
No.
Okay, so for my folks at home that have played Brawl Stars, it's like Penny.
Okay. But yeah, so that blue ult can be really strong. It used to be very strong in team fights. You could just shoot it and you could kill 4 or 5 people easily.
Oh, wow, yeah. Anyways, lane prio.
Oh, yeah. Got so sidetracked talking about Aphelios. Anyways, yeah, so if you were Caitlyn, then because of your attack range being so much bigger than other ADCs, you can really use that to your advantage. You can sort of walk up to a midway of the minion wave, and then you can punish the enemy ADC for trying to walk up to hit their minions. So that means that you can deny them getting gold, and if they try and get that gold, that you can hit them for free, get free damage. So basically, you get to pick how the lane is played. You get to decide whether or not you want the wave to stay in one place, whether you want to push it into their tower, whether you want to freeze it underneath your tower. You get to decide all of that, and it's very difficult for the enemy ADC to really have much of a say in how that lane is played out.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, this lane prio can change throughout the game based on kills, based on items, so if you also want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so something like, let's say you're the Aphelios. You don't have green gun. You can't match Caitlyn's attack range. You're sitting under your tower. She's just keeping you there. But then maybe a fight breaks out in the Dragon Pit, and you come out with 3 kills. Suddenly, you might have a really strong item spike. Aphelios likes to buy Infinity Edge first item sometimes, so if you buy a BF sword on your first back, then you'll have a really strong item spike on this Caitlyn. You can suddenly maybe change how that lane dynamic is playing out. You can maybe force the wave in a little bit. Maybe you can even find a kill on the Caitlyn, keep snowballing your lead. Those items really do affect how you can play your lane.
Yeah, and we talked about getting gold and killing minions, and I can talk a little bit more about that. So what's the laner's goals? So I say laners. The laners are what I consider top lane, mid lane, and your bottom lane. And at your top lane is where you have, okay, this is going to sound obvious. Your top lane is where you have your top playing. Yeah. Your mid lane is where you have your mid playing. And your bottom lane is where you have your ADC, which stands for attack damage carry, and your support playing. Yeah. And the main reason I was told when I started the game that you have 2 bot lane is because that's where Dragon Pit is. So if you're able to be winning that bot lane, you have lane prio in that bot lane, it is much, much easier for your jungle to take Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if you wanted to help your jungle take that dragon, you can push that wave in, and you can use that wave bouncing off of the tower as sort of a buffer period where the enemy can't attack your tower. So that really helps get the dragon, obviously. And then also, something that's also really important for having 2 bot laners is the supports have a lot of usually peel abilities, we call them. That's what we call it in Overwatch and League 2. And basically, it's any ability that can help keep the enemy off of someone on your team. And that means that, like, if Nautilus hooks onto you, then someone like a Rel can stun him off of you. And basically, try and help keep you alive. Because like I said before, those ADCs, they're very squishy, and you want to, because they do so much damage, you want to keep them alive as long as you can.
Yeah, and so we talk about, so what is killing minions, what is gold. So essentially what happens is minion waves spawn from both bases of each team, and if you are able to get the last hit of a minion, that means your damage was the last thing to kill it, you get at the start of the game, I believe, 21 gold. I think something like that.
I think it's 14.
14 gold, and then it scales up through the game. So I think 21, I got confused with something later. But you get gold, and that is a laner's main source of gold outside of kills.
Yep.
And if you are able to get a last hit on every minion and clean it very, very perfectly, obviously you're going to get gold much quicker.
Yes.
So what you're going to see from today is you're going to see all 8 of the laners, all 6 of the laners, I'll say, because supports don't want last hits. If supports are getting last hits on minion, they're taking gold away from their ADC. And the reason they're called the ADC is because they are essentially, their hope is to snowball out of control and just become very, very strong by the end of the game. So their support wants to ensure their ADC gets the most amount of gold as possible, because gold is how you buy items, and items give you very, very strong buffs, and that is, items and leveling up, that is how you win the game.
Exactly, yeah. And it's also called ADC because the attack damage, in League, there's 2 types of damage. There's physical damage and there's magic damage. And ADCs typically they lean towards doing the physical damage side. So items like the Collector, they give you, I think, 55 physical damage, 10 lethality, and another buff that I can't really remember. But those items, like the 55 attack damage, is really where that weapon comes in handy, because that increased damage, it's a lot. 55 doesn't sound like a lot, but that increases your damage by a pretty significant amount. But there are certain laners, someone like Kai'Sa, where the way Kai'Sa works is you actually evolve your abilities by using stats from items. So the Q will evolve from getting 100 physical damage from items, the W will evolve from getting 100 magic damage from items, and the E will evolve from getting, I actually don't remember the percentage, but it's a percentage of attack speed. And so certain characters like Kai'Sa, they actually do need magic damage in their build to be able to fully utilize their kit. And so some characters, again, like Kai'Sa, will actually build full AP kits after a certain point in the game. They will build full AP.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so interesting about League, is that there are so many champions, and every single one of them is essentially unique in its own way. Every champion has their own quirk, I like to call it. Like, they have their thing that they're good at. Vi is good at punching. Jhin really likes the number 4. Ezreal loves lightning. Like, they all have a little quirk. Aphelios, he switches between his guns. Morgana, obviously, she's just crazy at CC. Lux is also pretty insane at CC. Yeah. But they all have their little quirk, and they're all kind of built around that quirk, and that's how I feel like that's how Riot kind of like imagines the character. They're like, okay, so we need a new character. We need our 175th character. So what we're going to do is we have this idea, and now let's just build a character around this idea. And that's kind of how I feel like they form every character. And it's really interesting to kind of see. I mean, I definitely know I've watched some YouTube videos on how they've created characters, so it's obviously really interesting to see that process that they go through, but it's also just interesting to think about how they go through that process. I mean, one day someone at Riot was just like 4, and then like a month later Jhin was created.
Yeah. I like to imagine that's how Jhin came to be, personally. Yeah. I'm a very big Jhin enjoyer. I like to imagine that's how that went. Yep. They were just like, wow, that is a perfect number for a guy who shoots a gun.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, each character is pretty unique, and I think a character that you probably don't know about actually that's really unique is Udyr.
I've not heard that character, no.
Yeah, so Udyr is pretty special. His passive lets him awaken his abilities to have a special effect, and Udyr's abilities can go above level 5. I believe it goes to 8.
That's insane.
Yeah, so, and then he can also start by learning his ultimate at the start of the game, level 1.
Okay.
So, and basically what happens is each of those abilities is actually a different form that Udyr can take. And so what happens when he awakens one of those abilities is a different effect based on which one it is, obviously. And so, for instance, his ult, when you use it, it's an AoE of magic damage around him. And when you awaken it, it will release that, and it'll follow the last thing that you hit, and it will do a percentage of maximum health as magic damage.
Oh, and wow, okay.
So you can level that up to level 8, and then there's his E, which will give him move speed, and the first attack on a target the first attack on any individual target within a certain period of time will also stun them for a period of time. The W it gives you a shield when you use it, and then the first 2 hits onto any target will heal you for that damage. The Q is basically just extra physical damage, and it increases your attack speed. So really a very unique character. And when you awaken any of those abilities, you get basically the same benefits you get from using it in the first place, but even stronger.
Yeah.
And so I think really that just kind of goes to show Riot's creative process, because it's just so different from the norm in the game.
Yeah. And not only do they do stuff in game, but they've been doing a lot of stuff out of game with cinematics, with music videos, with whole freaking TV series. The 2 things that come to my mind first, at least, are Arcane, which I'm trying to convince this man to watch, and also KD. I mean, they formed their own like K-pop band, and they wrote songs, and the songs are actually pretty good, which I find, you know, like Riot just like, let's just write these songs. I was gonna say something else. What was it? Oh, that's what it was. So yeah, there's also, you think about, we were also talking about Jace, who we're also probably going to see today. His ultimate is that he can switch his between melee and range attacks for his auto, which I think is like, I mean, that's like, that doesn't seem broken. Like, oh, your ult is just you get to change attacks, but he starts with that at level 1, which I think is a very cool idea as well. Yeah,
Elise is similar actually. I'm pretty sure she switches. I'm not 100% positive. I don't know Elise perfectly well, but I believe the ultimate does a similar thing where you switch between your spider form and your human form. And we see that happen in the, have you watched the new cinematic, the Welcome to Noxus cinematic?
I've not actually watched it. Yeah, no, I need to. I've been told it's really good, and that once I watch it, I'll just really hope they make a Noxus series. And I've been told they're not making a Noxus series, so
really,
because I've been told like they might not. Arcane obviously was the greatest thing ever, but I'm playing. It was obviously good, but Riot didn't make money off of it. They didn't really get new players playing League because the player base of League told everyone to stay away from it.
That's probably true.
Like, unironically,
that's probably true.
I mean, it somehow convinced me into playing it, but that's because, you know, I had friends that already played it, so I wasn't just gonna solo queue it by myself, which would be pretty bad. But yeah, it's a very hard learning game. There's a very big learning curve of League. It's very hard to get into. And funnily enough, what I've discovered, and if you've ever tried playing League at home, you might as well. It starts off fun, and you know you're having fun. You're learning the one character you picked most likely. You're learning this. You're learning their abilities, and then you just keep, like, if you're laning, you keep going against different characters. And the more you play the game, the more you realize how little you know about it.
Yep.
So essentially, it's the more you know about the game, the more you realize how little you know about the game. So it's just like, and then you start thinking, do I have time to learn all this? And then you think no, and I'm like, okay, time to play Overwatch again.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, it's just because there's so many champions in the game, and each of them has their passive and 4 abilities.
Yep.
It's really just a lot to learn. When I play a lot with my friends at home, in my free time, and whenever I'm playing, I do find myself, like, not as often anymore, but when I started learning the game, there were a lot of times where I'd ask, what just happened to me?
Yeah, exactly.
because I play that ADC role, like we mentioned, and sometimes you just die, and you just have no idea what happened. So I think that it is a very steep learning curve. It's not too bad, all things considered, if you have a friend with you to help guide you on your path. It's really not too bad, but it can definitely be intimidating to some newer players at first.
And I will say the game has been out since 2010, so there are a lot of videos online about the different characters, you know, every patch note and stuff. But you also have to think, like, the players behind us, most of them would have been playing since 2010, so they knew the game when there was only 40 champions. And as the game has evolved over the years, over the past like 14 years it's existed, and just more champions have been added, think about how much easier it is. Instead of, you know, they just learn one new champion every like 3 months when they get released or something. You know, a new player comes into it, boom, 170 champions right in your face. So instead of like that slow learning curve that players that have been playing it for a longer time would have experienced, you watch Arcane, you liked it, let me go play League. It's just all thrown in your face at once.
And I think that is kind of a problem. The game lacks a good tutorial mode, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I mean, like, it teaches you the game.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to play. It doesn't do a whole lot to help you.
Oh, hello, Bowling Green roster.
Oh,
we get map picks.
We get draft.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, good. So right away, I think we see a Shen ban from the side of Ball State here, which I believe we heard about that in the cards, actually. We heard that that was likely to be seen. And then Bowling Green bans Victor. Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, but he's pretty strong mid.
Victor is very powerful currently. And then we see Karma and Gwen get banned as well. I don't really have much to say about that. I'm not sure why they would ban Gwen. I don't think Gwen as the most prevalent champion currently, unless Bowling Green knows something about our roster that I don't.
Maybe they've seen us play Gwen or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Swain. Okay, I understand the Swain ban. I think
we
Swain
just played against the Swain, and he was making me mad.
Yeah. Swain can be. Oh, and there's the Mel ban, as we mentioned. The Aurora. That's a pretty classic one for Wombat Baby, I believe, playing that mid lane.
Silk Flannel, top lane, right?
So something that can happen in draft, by the way, is they can pick a champion. It basically locks it down. They can switch who's playing that champion afterwards.
I see. Okay, so you think Silk picked Aurora for Wombat?
Yes, I think Silk Flannel picked Aurora for Wombat Baby. Wombat Baby picked Corky for our ADC, who is unlisted currently.
I'm assuming it's Alaplane. Yeah, Alaplane's the one playing back there, so I'm assuming it's him. We see Yumi.
No, we don't. What are you talking about?
Is that not Yumi? It says Yumi on my screen.
No, it doesn't.
Anahal Yumi, or is that a skin name?
Oh, that's a person's name. That's the guy's name.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, they banned Kled. Okay. I think Kled has seen some moments recently where he's looked pretty powerful, so I think that's a pretty understandable ban. And then BGSU bans Rel. That's I think that makes sense. Rel has a lot of peel potential. Like I mentioned, even she has a lot of that peel to like keep someone away from the Corky.
We have Casey dancing in the background.
Yeah. Also, now I am just confused by our draft.
Well, we have Ezreal ADC. That makes sense.
We have a Corky as well. Unless they are just picking an order.
I think they are, because Aurora
is top lane.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be the case.
Oh, I mean, Volibear top. Yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, I guess Volley top, Udyr jungle. Like I said, Udyr, very unique. You can build him AP, AD. It doesn't really matter because he has those tools for a lot of situations.
Morgana support.
Morgana support. Okay.
Yeah.
Just running by back there.
Yeah, that's our jungler Quokka, actually. I think he's used the restroom.
That's Quokka.
Yeah, that's Quokka just running by.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
He's got 45 seconds, so he'd better make it in time.
Yeah, so that's our support using the restroom really quickly. But I do think it's in order. And yeah, I forgot we were looking at player names, not champion names. I'm just not smart apparently.
That's okay. Happens to the best of us.
But yeah, we saw the Aurora top, and so it's going to be a ranged top laner versus the Volibear, who's obviously melee, and that does usually work in Aurora's favor a lot. The only thing is Aurora has to be careful of those very strong Vesuvius ganks on the what's his name again?
Udyr.
Udyr, sorry, yes.
Yeah, so I actually think that the Udyr ganks are going to be less prevalent in that top lane because Aurora is so mobile, especially with her ult. When you use Aurora ult, if you walk out one side of it, you get teleported to the other side, and I think that's going to be very helpful. Oh, and we see their summoner spells here.
10 flashes, what a surprise.
Yeah, nothing too shocking, just worth mentioning.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, that Udyr, I think he's going to have a hard time catching the Aurora if he goes top. I think even with the E movement speed, I think he's going to have a really hard time getting to the Aurora and being able to punish anything significant. Unless Volibear uses his ult to jump on top of her, I think that it's going to be a pretty safe lane for Silk Flannel here.
And yeah, we see the only difference is going to be Ignite for Morgana and Bowling Green, and then the heal is what Quokka is going to want on his support role.
Yeah, I'm not particularly shocked about that. The Smolder has pretty high damage over time at a certain point in the game. I think that heal is a pretty good idea to try and keep your Ezreal alive. You know, if you do get hit by a Morgana Q, I think is the CC. If you get hit by that, you're probably gonna take a pretty significant amount of damage here. And so I think that heal is kind of just to prevent that damage over time from the Morgana and Smolder. I think they're really just trying to make sure that they don't die to tick damage once the fight is over.
It's actually pretty funny. So we talked a good bit about Udyr and Morgana in our pre-show.
Yeah,
and then Bowling Green picks two of them.
They must have heard us.
They surely
They're watching. I appreciate that you guys are big fans of the commentary. You know, like we said, it's my first time here. I'm really glad that you guys love the show so much.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. There is a 3-minute stream delay, I do believe.
So we're going to sit here for 3 minutes?
Yeah, so essentially.
Okay.
And I do even believe on the screen behind, that is also behind 3 minutes. So players cannot look behind and see vision. And stuff
I'm not sure if that's true, actually.
I think
when
it's
we were
not
playing
for
Overwatch,
Valorant.
I think I glanced behind and I went, uh-oh, I'm not supposed to be looking at this right now.
So it's different for Valorant and Overwatch, but I think for League we actually do it. Because
Really?
I remember I was watching, and Remy runs to the restroom mid-game, and he's moving on the screen I'm
Really?
watching. Like on that TV,
like
he's
he's
moving.
walking to lane?
Yep, and then 3 minutes
Or
later,
jungle, but...
no, he's actively team fighting. Like this is, and then
Oh,
3
I
minutes
see what you
later,
mean. Oh, because of the delay,
Yeah.
he was in the bathroom.
exactly.
Wow, okay.
And then 3
okay.
minutes later, there's a tech pause, and I'm like, oh, so that's
Oh.
so that's what it was.
It makes sense
Yeah.
now. Okay. That's good to know. You know, I like to look at the big screen sometimes.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
really
cool.
do. But I'm not allowed to when I play.
No,
it makes me really sad.
It's very sketchy if you do.
I know. I try not to. I really have to restrain myself.
It's like, where's our tracer at? Got him.
Well, where's our trade? That's me, first of all.
Yeah, well, that's why you're looking for their tracer, so you can win the off angle.
Okay.
Let me just look for a stick on this tray really quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find that guy's hiding spot.
Yeah.
I think I know where he is.
Yeah.
Really good.
He's hacking. He's walling. He's walling. Guys, he's walling.
I just have really good game knowledge.
Yeah.
What
No,
can I say?
I legitimately ran against someone that was aimbotting and walling in Overwatch. He was playing Hanzo against me. It was Control Center Lijiang. And I'm looking at the kill cam. He is looking at me through the wall. I'm going on a crazy Kiriko flank. Like this is a crazy. Like I jump. Like I'm already past their spawn. Not past spawn, but I'm near their spawn. I jump out over the balcony and a wall climb up the right side. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna get this flank. I'm gonna get some headshots. I insta die to a Hanzo one tap. I look at my kill cam. He's looking at me through the wall. Realizes, oh no, they're gonna know I'm walling. He throws a sonar out. He throws a sonar out. First off, I'm doing a great
This is a cool graphic.
graphic there.
Oh, perfect. Oh, so we're
Oh,
in game.
we're already in game.
We're
Okay,
in.
cool.
Okay, so, just looking at the map here, nothing too shocking right now. Wombat Baby hiding, probably, I don't think it's on vision. So, probably sees the Malzahar there,
It's a cool skin.
actually. Yeah, Corky has some really funny skins, actually, which is,
Uh-oh. He might get pinched.
no, he should be fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just
shoot
gonna get a
it.
little bit of poke damage. So Corky actually usually played as an ADC. That's why I said I thought that he was gonna be seeing that bottom lane. Also, yeah, I don't know. I guess Udir's just hanging out. But anyways, Corky has. You see, Wombat Baby actually has the Hail of Blades here, and that's because Corky's a percentage of his damage. Wow, that is really awesome.
Yeah, so that are we allowed to shut that?
We must be. But a percentage of Corky's attack damage will actually be dealt as additional true damage, which can't be negated by armor or magic resistance. So that's probably part of what the thought process is here into the Malzahar. I believe the Corky was picked after the Malz. I don't quite recall. But looking at the lanes here, we see Skarner starting on the blue buff and Udyr starting on the red. So what we need to look out for here is Udyr might look for a level 2 or 3 gank here on the spot lane, and the Skarner will not be there to help in time. Skarner is more than likely looking for his full clear, and so right now we're just watching the poke happen between Quokka and this Smolder. Smolder scales really hard as a champion, so I think that they're going to really look to abuse this Smolder while they can in this lane.
Yeah, and one thing I talked a little bit about this in the pre-show. There's the Morgana Q, by the way.
Yeah.
You see just completely freezing Quokka in place. But look how Aliplane is going for last hit on every single minion. And every time he's able to get that last hit, you see the plus 14 go up. It's going to be a fight breaking out. Aliplane's going to get Ignis low. It's going to force them all the way back. Not going to be in time is the Udyr for Bowling Green. So they might just be able to win this engage. They're going to back up, but they get a really, really good damage trade out of that fight.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of damage dealt there, and what that was really, we played our level 2 really well there. Aliplane, Quokka, they knew that the enemy team wasn't going to hit their level 2 until they were under tower, and so they really pressed that advantage with that level 2 to do a lot of damage to that Smolder, and now look, they have so much lane priority, they get to really determine what is going on here. Aliplane's not even in the lane at this point, right? And like, I was wrong here, the Udyr actually did move up for his full clear. That's not shocking, to be honest. Full clear is generally probably what you want to do first as the jungle. Oh, but here we see Silk Flannel.
And Silk's just going to get the first blood on Skeptic, and that's going to be... Yeah, that's just going to be first blood.
Yeah, that's a pretty free first blood. Silk Flannel probably going to push this wave in and back if I had to guess. Yeah, that looks like it. Well, actually, he's roaming down. Oh, you see Skeptic Wave actually TPing back to lane. But Silk Flannel is taking the back. I wonder if he's going to have to TP here.
as Nai gets nearly dead. One tap. Remy's going to look for the gank. They're going to look for the dive. So Remy, at full health, is going to be able to tank a lot of tower damage here. They have vision on it. They're still probably going to go for it. Remy's going to take the hits. He's not going to get close enough. No, Quokka is going to go for the hits. They're going to get Nai. Now they're looking for the second kill on Ignis. It's going to come through. It's going to be 3-0 start for Ball State as the tower dive is successful, and they're going to get that first 20% of the tower down as well.
Yeah, they're also going to get, notably, an important feat of strength there. So that is the first to 3 kills. That is really important here, and this is a really good back rally plane. And the Quokka, like we said, look at how look at how much he is up on the CS, sorry.
That is crazy.
Yeah, 30-4 is pretty shocking. We see another actually skirmish breaking out here. Remy, what a flash!
Wow, and now Remy's looking for the dive on Vesuvius. No, they're just going to stay back, clear some of these minions out. I don't think that, Remy does not have anywhere near enough health to go for the dive there, but they still are able to get one without engage.
Yeah, Remy's doing a great job here. He just got so much out of just like 1 minute of play. Just forced the bot lane out, got out the Smolder's barrier, and then immediately forces out the Malzahar. Malzahar flashed earlier, I think, but now he has to TP back to lane.
And yeah, it's going to be, so as you just said, Wombat's going to TP now. I believe it was going to be both mid laners TPing back to their lane. The Infernal Drake, I believe, is the first dragon. I could be mistaken. I think I am mistaken.
I believe that that's just the icon for the dragon spawning.
Yep, so that is
it looks like it's a Mountain Drake.
Okay, so Mountain Drake, my bad, is the first dragon, and Wombat Baby's going to look to take on Mikoshi here. He has enough health to go under tower, but he's just going to get him low. It's going to force Mikoshi off, and now he either has 2 options, play under his tower low health or back and let Wombat Baby get damage on his tower.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to take the back. He doesn't want to risk dying to the Corki here, so it looks like he's just going to take the back. He's going to lose his CS and probably a plate, which lets this Corki get really ahead, especially since he's level 6 now. But that's just the risk he's willing to take, I guess. It's a lot better than feeding the Corki a kill.
Yeah, now Remy's looking for the invade on the Bowling Green jungle. He knows that he's already scaled a decent amount with the kills, so if the enemy jungler does try to take the 1v1, Remy is pretty confident he can win that. And now if we looked at our top lane, Silk is very, very far pushed up. I think he made the Volibear back a little bit. Now that the Volibear is respawning at full health, he's going to have to fall back. But look at that CS lead top lane as well, 44-26. Silk Flannel is playing that very nicely so far.
Yeah, and I think Silk Flannel got another kill off camera.
Oh my gosh, he did, you're right.
Kills.
So that wasn't, he didn't force the Volibear to back, he just killed him.
I think so, yeah.
Vesuvius looking for the gank here onto Aliplane. Aliplane is going to use that Ezreal Q to get out. He's going to do a huge amount of damage, and Aliplane flashes for the kill, and now Mikoshi is going to try to help out, but no, Quokka and Aliplane are now looking to kill Ignis. It's going to be a very unfortunate gank for Vesuvius. The sin, I would say, of the gank is dying in your lane and feeding the laner, but there's not much he can do there. He played it well. Aliplane's just already scaled so heavy.
Yeah, this is looking really good for our bot lane here. Like I said before, look, they're just up so much CS, and it looks like we're actually looking for a tower dive here. If Remy wants to go, if Silk Flannel can get good damage on this, maybe clear the wave a little bit. It doesn't look like they're going to go for it. Yeah, they see Vesuvius, I think.
Oh, but Remy might try to 1v1 the Vesuvius. He's going to. Is Skeptic going to be there in time to save him? No, Remy's actually going to take more damage out of that engage. He's going to have to fall back a little bit, but it looks like Wombat might be lurking up through that red jungle trying to help. Either that or he's just trying to get maybe a different angle, but look at the damage that Silk is putting onto Skeptic. And Mikoshi dies to Wombat. We saw him lurking in Bowling Green's top jungle for a little bit. He was able to find a sneaky engage, a sneaky angle, and actually secure that kill.
Yeah, he flashed onto him there, actually, is what happened there. But we also just saw Aliplane got another kill in the bot lane. He's 2-0 currently. That Ezreal is looking strong. He's going to have a very strong back here. We can't see gold numbers, I don't think, for individual champs, but I would be shocked if he doesn't back on either a Hearthbound Axe or a Sheen here, which is really good here. He's even going to get another plate for free. He might not even back yet at all, which would be pretty shocking here. Oh, wow. That's a shutdown to going over to the Udyr.
Yeah, so I think Aurora Silk got caught a little out of position, and I believe it was Vesuvius that had a really good gank, and looks like they traded because Vesuvius and Silk both died. But
I think Silk died under tower.
Oh, you think Silk died under tower? Okay.
Udyr respawned much faster.
Yeah, so that still means, though, Even though they traded kills, it's more gold for Vesuvius because of that shutdown. But look at that, Nye just getting back to lane is already literally 5 HP. So it's just crazy how much damage this Ezreal is able to do early game.
Yeah, this Ezreal-Xerath duo is really strong here. And honestly, what are we seeing here?
Remy's just in Vesuvius' jungle right now. He's looking for the 1v1. He's going to get it. So not only does Remy get the Raptors and probably red buff, he's looking for the kill on Vesuvius. He's going to chase him up. Vesuvius is not going to get out in time. Remy's now going to look for the red buff. He knows he has to be careful because Skeptic is on his way. That's going to be Wombat killing the mid laner Mikoshi once again. Now an 11-1 lead Ball State has. Remy and Skeptic are 1v1ing. Silk does not look to want to get involved with that. He just wants to get his gold, clear his minion waves. So it's going to force Remy to back, but buy some pretty good items here as he has 1,800 gold we see.
Yeah, you're right there. I didn't see that gold before. That's new.
No, yes, yeah, so I think they swap between, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be big damage. Probably a kill onto Rosenai here if Quokka uses ult. He doesn't even have to use ult.
Well, that was a crazy ability. I didn't catch which one that was, but that just kills Nye under his tower.
Yeah. So Xerath has a lot of range. That ability right there. I don't know what button it is exactly, but Xerath, you will use those abilities to poke you from really far away. Like I was gonna say earlier. We're going to see a tower drop before plates here maybe in mid.
And Wombat's already level 9. Once again, we can look up these CS leads, 99-37 over that bot.
Yeah, and back to the bot lane. There's another kill going out before we even speak.
Yeah.
That bot lane, the Ezreal and Xerath here, they're going to have so much long-range damage here. The Smolder kind of has to get in close to really be able to do his damage, and this could look like another kill here.
And Vesuvius is taking a really risky play, 1v1ing the Dragon right under Ball State's nose. And Ball State have the advantage bot lane, but they just don't expect him to be taking Dragon here because it's really not a smart play. It's unexpected, but it is smart because it's unexpected, if that makes any sense. And I think, yeah, so that's going to be Vesuvius and Bowling Green taking the very sneaky Dragon there.
Yeah, that was honestly a pretty good Dragon take because, like you said, they probably weren't really expecting Vesuvius to be looking for that. And now they're probably going to clear him out here actually and take first turret to secure their feats of strength, if I had to guess.
Yep, and it is going to be. So feats of strength is a best 2 of 3.
Oh,
that will be the turret, and Vesuvius will get ulted by Remy and will fall as well. So Vesuvius makes the hero play on the Dragon, trying to give Bowling Green some life in this game, but is then going to fall. Now it looks like it's going to be a free grubs for Remy as he just killed Vesuvius, the opposing jungler.
Yeah, that was just a great flash ult there from Remy. I think Vesuvius really couldn't do anything about that except react to his own flash, but the timing was just perfect from Remy. And now Quokka's moved up, he's roaming. They're going to make sure that this volley player has nothing to do with these grubs. And they're probably even going to find this kill here.
Yeah, not only are they going to find the kill, they might even find the tower as it is on 25% health. They're going to look for the dive, maybe. I don't think they can just yet. Not only is Quokka level 6 because he's support, but Skeptic has a little bit too much health left. But as you said, they kept Skeptic occupied so they could take grubs, but now here's Remy. His ult's not back online yet, but he has a lot of power. He's tanky already. Look at that, 2,500 health. And they're going to proxy this wave completely as Silk is going to get the free tier 1 turret and force both, I believe, as Skeptic and Vesuvius to back.
Yeah, and Remy already has that Heartsteel. So Heartsteel, really powerful item on a character like Skarner. You get max health as you melee enemies champions. So this Skarner is going to become a very big problem very quickly, especially because he's already so ahead of this Udyr here. Udyr has that Sheen and Swifties, but it's just really not going to matter when your Skarner has Merc Treads and Heartsteel. This Skarner is going to become a very big problem, along with this Ezreal with Trinity Force already.
Yeah, one of junglers, the main job of the jungler is to farm those jungle camps and really snowball out of control and become very powerful. And just become a very powerful team fight late game. And now it's going to be a 3-on-1 to this Skeptic. Skeptic needs to see if he can get out, but he gets CC'd by Quokka, and that might just be the end. He has to ult to get out, but Ball State might be able to push this advantage to take tier 2 top turret here.
Now that Xerath ult might find him.
Oh.
Pause,
oh,
it looks like. I'm actually not too sure what happened here. It should say game pause if it's paused. I'm not sure what we're looking at.
It might be a stream crash.
I hope not.
They're still playing
Oh,
back there. There it goes.
It's up. We're good.
So it's just a pause for a second.
Yeah, that's interesting there, but sorry about that, I guess. But Skeptic Wave actually was able to get away from that Xerath ult, but they claimed tier 2 in the process, and it's really looking rough here for Bowling Green. Ali playing down there on the Ezreal is, it looks like he probably killed the tier 2 turret, or is about to kill the tier 2 turret, and actually Wombat maybe might be in trouble here. Yeah, really good ult from the Malzahar.
They might just be able to find this trade, find some life in this game. They're down 19-2. No, they're going to have to run away. They fear any other Ball State players lurking in that jungle just because they don't have vision on it. And they were right to run away as Ali playing the Ball State ADC is now looking to 2v1 the Skeptic Will Silk. He's in trouble. That is why they didn't push their advantage on Wombat, because they knew that Ball State had players coming up to help. But now it's a 2v3, but 2 of Bowling Green players are low on health. Silk finds the kill on Mikoshi. Ali playing Vesuvius 1v1. Ali playing is going to get the kill on Vesuvius. Now it's going to be a cleanup as Silk gets the win, and they win that 2v3. And now it's going to be Ignis and Nye protecting their tier 3 top turret for their life. And they're going to do all they can do. It's going to be a double kill for Silk Flannel, as we saw there. Great fight from Ball State, winning the 2v3, even though it was a 2v3 though, because Bowling Green's champions I should say, were on low health.
Yeah, that was a really great play from Ball State. Seeing the, they're playing really hard for this top lane, obviously. Ali playing takes that tier 2 mid tower and immediately starts moving up because they know that Wombat Baby's low HP, and they're probably looking for that. And Udyr just walks at them and dies for it immediately. They're going to find this tier 3 here.
Yeah, and with the tier 3, along will fall the inhibitor most likely. That's going to be a triple kill for Silk. He wants that penta. I can feel that he wants it, but they're going... Silk surely has to back. He's probably sitting on, what, 20+ thousand gold here after getting 5 kills?
Yeah, he's probably sitting on a lot of gold, but he already has the Malignance and a needlessly large rod. Honestly, I hope that we see him go for a Rabadon second item here, to be honest with you.
Instantly buys it.
Yeah.
It's going to be another team fight.
Yeah, they're just going to keep sieging this Nexus Tower. They know that their champions are so much stronger. They have such a gold lead. There's basically nothing that Bowling Green State University can do about this. They're just waiting for minion waves.
Yeah, so once Ball State has their minion wave up to this Nexus turret, it's going to be an absolute onslaught. Chaos ensues as I believe that's Wombat Baby with the double kill. Speaking of, too, that's how many points he took off your homework assignment last week in CS 230. But that does not matter right now, because it's going to be Ball State getting not just one Nexus Tower, but 2 Nexus Towers, and they're going to take the Nexus for the win already. I think that was under 20 minutes. Atacon hasn't even spawned yet.
No, it hasn't spawned yet. They're trolling too. They're not ending.
No, they're
just leaving Ali playing to end the game.
And there
what
it
a
is.
game.
Rift Hero just spawned.
Yeah, that was a very quick game. So honestly, a lot happened very quickly.
Yeah.
It's very hard to really put into perspective how many good things Ball State did in a row. Honestly, just an amazing game from our players here. Like we said, the Ezreal Xerath duo on that bot lane, Ali played really perfectly, playing to poke out and do so much damage whenever they walk up, and then the Xerath can just follow up so easily with those ranged abilities. They found so many kills, they forced them to leave so many times. Ali playing was basically uncontested the entire game in his own lane because he just got so much gold, he was up so much CS, and then he just farmed plates.
Yeah. We saw Ali playing very early on. We talked about it. He had, what, 30-4 CS lead to start the game. Not only that, but he had the 2 kills to start within. I think that was essentially 3 minutes we saw those first 2 kills. Yeah. And we talked, Ali was talking to us before the game. He has not died yet in ESC, and he's hoping to keep that alive. Yeah. He keeps it there for another map. We'll see if he can continue it for the entire match.
One more, right? We just need to see one more come out of him, and then he's good.
He can say, yeah.
The Ezreal, I will say, I think maybe he's trying for it a little hard there, because the Ezreal is a pretty safe character to play. As far as ADCs go, he actually does have pretty decent mobility with that arcane shift on his E. It teleports you to a location and then will shoot a bolt, which prioritizes enemies hit by your Essence Flux, your W, and that does extra damage. So the skill priority for Ezreal will usually be you max your Q first to get the extra damage, obviously, and then you max your E to reduce the cooldown, and you can it's like a flash every 8 seconds.
Yeah. It's pretty powerful. And do you think... Oh, here's
a game overview. Okay, perfect.
So, yeah, 162-70 CS. We see that 7-0 on both Wombat Baby and Ali playing. We still can't see his name. Look at that. I believe this is hero damage.
Yeah, that's champion.
Champ
That's
damage,
damage
sorry.
dealt to champions. So we see Alleyplane did 18.6 thousand damage in that maybe 20-minute game.
Crazy.
So, like, this was honestly about what we expected, right? That Ezreal and Xerath just doing so much damage in that early game, and then Silk Flannel really abusing the fact that he's playing a ranged top laner into Volibear. Really, like, I mean, he was up 4,000 gold on the Volibear. Volibear didn't even have, or he actually did have one complete item, but Vesuvius, unfortunately, did not even have one complete item there. It looks like he was probably building a Trinity Force, but he did not even get it, unfortunately, unlike Wombat Baby and Alleyplane.
Yeah, he just didn't have the time to farm enough jungles because his lanes were under such heavy and consistent pressure from Remy, the Ball State jungler. But yeah, just looking at this, we can see the complete, I don't want to say domination, but kind of complete domination that happened. I mean, you see every lane essentially has that big CS lead, has that gold lead, and we talked a lot about how much gold, how important gold is to scaling and snowballing your champions because you're able to buy those items which give you really, really big buffs.
Yeah, so an almost 20,000 gold lead is insane, first of all. That is just quite the, it's a large margin, to say the least. But the items you get from that 20,000 gold is really where it comes from. The Trinity Force, for example, it does 33 attack damage, 33% attack speed, something like that, and it gives you 333 health. And then
it costs 3333, right?
It does. It does, yes. And then the passive on that item is Spellblade, and so that's why I mentioned the Ezreal Alleyplane. I believe he backed on a Sheen, maybe, and a Hearthbound Axe, actually. I didn't quite see. We were looking at other things. But the reason that Spellblade is so important, that Sheen in specific, it's a 900 gold item, but what it does is after a spell, your next attack will deal increased damage. So that's really powerful for a champion like Ezreal, where you're casting that W, and then your Q, even though it's an ability, it actually counts as an attack on Ezreal. So you can hit those enemy champions with it. It does increased attack damage, and that's a big part of where Ezreal's damage comes from.
And now that we got that first game over, Alleyplane won it, do we think he's going to go Aphelios?
He's going to go the Aphelios?
Please, Alleyplane.
Yeah, can
we get him over? He said he didn't want to be interviewed, so we should have threatened him.
If he doesn't play Aphelios, I say we get him over here and ask why he played the champions he did. I think that's perfect
smart.
idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I really care what he plays at this point. I think we're gonna see some pretty good gameplay regardless. But maybe that's why he will play the Aphelios.
Yeah, he wants.
He'll do it for me, and that would be what a guy.
I want to see the Vi jungle too. Remy was watching over my shoulder when we were queuing Iron.
Yeah.
He was watching me play Vi, and I'm just like, yeah, I know I'm bad. I'm Iron. It's all good, but I'm having fun with it. That's what matters.
And I mean, the game. To be fair, the game places you in the lowest rank on your first game, win or loss. So we are not at fault. We won. We're positive.
Well, we had to stop the game.
You might tell that to Big Riot.
We might have started a game with not enough time to finish it. That's our bad. Sorry, teammates.
No. I feel bad for Mr. Riot, not our teammates.
Yeah.
They can't lose LP. They're in gold. They're in iron. They're in iron. They can't lose LP. Honestly, we were winning.
We were winning, but they also had a Mord that was farming.
I was 11 killed. I was full build.
Yeah, but anytime I try to fight, the Mord just ults me.
Yeah,
it makes me mad. And it makes me mad. You can two-shot him?
Basically.
How?
Have you seen what Aphelios damage looks like?
Aphelios, yeah.
Full build Aphelios damage is a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, even like there was a game I played the other day. Actually, I had Infinity Edge on one of my backs, and that's my first item. I hit my it's a good first item for Aphelios.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He really likes that crit. But I hit a green Q, and then I did about half of the Vayne's health in one hit.
That's
from
insane.
halfway across the lane. She was out of vision by the time I actually hit her with the mark. And so then immediately in the chat, she's like, "What is wrong with you? Why did you do half my health when you weren't even on vision?" I said, "You don't know how Aphelios works, I don't think, because I do damage."
Yeah, you do. ADCs, based on the name, they do damage, I think.
They do damage.
Damage carry. It's in there, isn't it?
It's there. I'm a big fan. Actually, I'm not a big fan of the APCs.
Are those actually? I've never heard of an APC before.
Ability powered carry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically like still an ADC because they're playing the bot lane role, but champions like Brand
Oh,
They
yeah.
do a lot of damage. Like, Brand used to have the fastest jungle clear time in the game.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, which is crazy. Especially because I've seen good players clear with fiddlesticks, and they
go through
kite
fast.
they kite all the wolves and all the raptors to them with, I don't remember which ability it is. It's like, yeah, Vi can't do that. Vi just kind of punches them until they die. So I mean, I don't got a chance.
Yeah, it's a lot of characters, these junglers, the faster the clear time, the better, typically. Yeah. So like, I mean, like champions like Ivern are really strong. Actually, Ivern places he can't damage jungle monsters. He's a friend of the forest.
Oh, is that actually a thing?
Yeah, that's his passive. I'm pretty sure it's called Friend of the Forest. He can't damage jungle monsters.
But does he play jungle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need an explanation.
So, what you do is you place a I don't know what you'd call it. On a camp, basically, you place a mark based. I'm gonna call it a mark. Yeah.
Okay.
And then after a certain amount of time, that mark matures, and then you go back and you click on it, and it frees the camp. It frees them, and you get the gold from killing them. You get the gold and XP from killing them.
I see.
So it takes it's meant to take about the same amount of time as killing it would, but it just doesn't. It's faster by a pretty good amount. So Ivern has a really fast clear time, and he takes no damage because he never attacked the camp.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a cool character.
I'm gonna have to try Ivern.
He's a cool character.
I mean, and we talked about this so much in the pre-show. I can just imagine somebody sitting at Riot. Guys, I have an idea. I was showering today and I thought, what if we make a jungler that can't jungle?
Exactly.
Boom.
The creative process and the great minds of Riot Games.
It's crazy.
It just has to be there's definitely something in the water in the office. I think it's the only answer, because how do you make a jungler who can't jungle?
I know, it's crazy.
I think I read the ability description or passive description, whatever it is, and I'm pretty sure it said you can't damage epic monsters either. So I don't know how he ever gets dragon.
Maybe he frees the dragon too.
No, I don't think so.
What about smite?
I think you can still smite.
Okay.
I don't think he can do damage to dragons, but I think he can still smite. I assume that's how they do it. Oh, there's draft.
Yeah, Victor was
anything.
banned. Sorry, I was letting you ramble. Victor and Shen are the first two bans.
Yeah, there goes the Aurora. So the Shen, like we said, so the reason we thought it was in the cards is because Aliplane said that they have a Shen OTP. Makes sense. They don't want to take the chance.
Yeah, and
take out their strongest champion.
Bowling Green. Now they've swapped sides, by the way. Bowling Green saw what Soak did on Aurora
they are
last
not letting
game.
him get the chance to do that again.
But here's the thing: Soak's just gonna play Ambessa now.
Probably.
And let me say, Soak on Ambessa is scary.
Yeah,
it is scary.
It's probably. I'm excited to see what they do. They banned the Corki. I'm starting to be a little concerned.
Everyone you played last game is being banned.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that they're just banning what happened last game. There goes the Swain again. Those are the same 3 bans from Ball State. I think they know something we don't.
Is that that's a Cho'Gath, if I'm not mistaken?
That's a
right?
Cho'Gath.
Okay, interesting.
I
very
think
tanky.
I like the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, very, very tanky. Here's a Jace.
The Jace.
Soak.
Okay,
we talked about
it. Yeah, another really great pick. Jace has a lot of. That's an Elise. Jace has a lot of flexibility in the way he can build. He can build Bruiser. He can almost build Assassin even.
We have a Ludwig fan. We have Vesuvius on the Amumu.
Yeah.
There's the Mel,
yeah.
And the
Mel
Echo,
and an
Echo.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, but that Jace has a lot of just versatility in his build, so I'm really excited to see how Silk builds it. I think personally he's gonna go more Bruiser. Tank Jace is pretty strong. I think that he wants to do damage though. I think he's feeling good about himself after that last game. And then the 2 new bans.
So we ban Ambessa. Are we? I guess Ambessa ADC is a thing, maybe?
Not particularly. I'm not sure what the thought process is behind that, honestly.
Maybe we're trolling.
I'm not sure. I really don't know what the thought process is. I wish I could explain.
Is that who I think it is?
Yes!
Is that who I think it is? Lock it in! Lock it in, please!
He sees me. He's looking at me.
Please lock it in. Yeah! Let's go, high five! Aphelios!
Yes. Oh my god. Oh, and a Xayah. I actually do
There's the brand.
I think I do like the Xayah brand here. It's Aphelios is. I think they just said something about that back there. And Pantheon. Okay, I really like this bottom lane here from Ball State. So something that we're gonna have to look out for here is I think that the Xayah brand can really bully Aphelios early. Aphelios, people say he has a really weak early game. It's not 100% true. A lot of it depends on sort of how you play it.
Mm-hmm.
You can play your early game pretty well in Aphelios and not be super weak, but it's still not a very strong early game, all things considered. So I think the Saya brand have the potential to really bully Aliplane for this pick. Which, sorry, but that one's on me. But that's why I actually like the Pantheon support here.
Mm-hmm.
Pantheon can do Pantheon can lunge at an enemy to stun them and do a good amount of damage. And that stun, if Aliplane has his if Aliplane has Severum, he can do so much damage on that follow-up, especially if he has one of his gun combos like blue-green or red-white. He can do a lot of damage on those follow-ups, and I think even if they get away, the Pantheon can throw the spear and maybe secure the kill. And there's an Ignite cleanse too. So I think Aliplane's looking to be able to cleanse that early poke damage from the brand. And Quacka's going to make sure that they don't miss a single kill in this lane. So I think that this is going to be a very interesting bot lane matchup. And probably as well top. I think the Jace Cho'Gath is going to be very interesting because Cho'Gath can sustain pretty well.
Yeah, in Cho'Gath, I've faced a good amount of them, unfortunately, and they tank once they get their items, they become very, very tanky. And yeah, you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Brand has a lot of like overtime burn damage, kind of like an Ash Dynamite. So essentially what this is we're playing a Suzu against an Ash Dynamite.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Except if Suzu had like a 240-second cooldown, if it was balanced, one might say, actually.
Balanced. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe that's just because I played Tracer.
Yeah, I just double
I
headshot
wish we could still see that production, please.
I think we're just going to game, that means then.
Maybe, but we have to talk still for 3 minutes. But whatever.
Yeah. Woo!
Oh, thank you. I love you, production. Yeah, so I think also I have concerns about the Amumu here.
Okay.
Can I be honest?
You don't like the Ludwig pick?
Well, it's not that. I just think that the Elise, I think that we're playing for a pretty strong early game here on this comp. Well, not necessarily. Wow, they are excited back there. What are they doing?
I don't know.
I just hear shouting. But
they're pumped up, I guess.
They're so excited to be here. Really pulling the Overwatch traditions into every game. But I don't know. I think the Elise will have the potential to really. They're going at it. I wonder if that
they're just
it
yelling
can
at
be heard
Aliplane.
on
They're
our
yelling
mics.
at Aliplane for
You
playing
think?
Aphelios.
That'd be really funny. If he tells us later, he's like, "Yeah, guys, they
flamed me.
I'm cut."
Like they just talked in Korean for like 2 minutes straight, and I think they're only talking about me.
Yeah, they're just talking about bad things. Like I don't understand it. My heart was in the right place, and I appreciate that personal Aliplane. I love you for that. You're a good guy.
I will say 3 arcane characters. So 3 characters I actually know about.
Yeah, you might have to handle this one. It's okay. I'll say anything about Aphelios. You say anything about
Smell. Who's the last one? Smell and why can't I think the last?
I don't think there was 3.
No, there definitely was. I remember a 3rd.
Take your time then, because I want to see if you can think about it. Because I don't.
Hold up. It was 3. Cho'Gath, and then jungle was. I remember the jungle, but not arcane. Amumu, yeah, jungle, Amumu. Then Mel, mid. And then, they play ADC? They played Brand
Xayah.
support, Xayah. Oh, I'm just wrong, I think.
Yeah, you are.
Because we played top Jace, jungle Elise, mid.
Our mid.
Oh, was it mid? I think mid was the other one then. Mid was the other arcane character.
I don't remember.
Because it was ADC Aphelios, Pantheon support. So I think Wombat is on the 3rd arcane character.
What would it be though?
Not Victor. Victor was banned.
Echo.
It was Echo.
Oh, you're right.
It was Echo. So it's Echo on. It's the arcane on arcane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And also Jace Mel. Jace versus Mel. If you've seen Arcane, could get spicy.
Spoilers.
Could get spicy. That's
Don't
all I'm
spoil.
saying. I'm not spoiling. If you've seen Arcane,
will be mad at you.
No, he's seen season 1. It's
is
just
that
2
season 1?
Yeah, that's season 1 spoilers.
I haven't watched it at all.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. I'm trying, guys.
I have better
Put in
things
chat
to do.
if you should watch it.
Oh yeah, can they? I guess.
One if you should watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what they have to say about it before we get into the game here.
Yeah. Production will notify us if we see a bunch of ones.
Will we? I kind of wish we could see chat almost.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard.
We need to reuse one of Elise monitors there.
Just
flip
turn
it
around.
vertical. Yeah, flip it vertical and then have chat pulled up on it. That'd be the play.
Speaking of monitors, we got here at 1, which for college people is really early to wake up at. So,
That's true.
to hype people up, I blasted League of
Oh.
Legends music on my speakers
Yeah.
for everybody.
I don't know.
I think no one enjoyed it, but it was good to get blood flowing.
I think you made Ali Plane lose his rank game.
I don't think I did.
I think so.
No. He mentioned another reason for why he lost it, but I'm not going to repeat it.
Really?
Yeah, he mentioned another.
No, I know the reason, but why not repeat
Plane
it?
was vibing. He was going. Oh, how's it go?
He said he couldn't focus.
Down.
Yeah,
down.
but he said he
was
couldn't
vibing.
focus.
I told him to put his headset in and lock in.
You could definitely hear
Yeah,
it through
the
the
problem
headset.
is you couldn't hear it. You could feel the bass through your body.
No, you could hear it.
Yeah.
You could hear it through the headset.
Yeah.
Which, like, I
No
don't know what you
excuses.
expected.
We won our game. No excuses.
We didn't win our game.
We won our first game.
That's true.
We did.
That's
yeah.
true.
And I got like 13 assists. I had like 60% KP.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what you
our
want.
Pike just hit
Our
every ult.
Pike
Our
was-
Pike hit every single ult. So
Yeah.
that guy was farming.
Yeah, and then our Pike the second game was farming too.
He wasn't even that good. We would have won a 2v2 in our lane, and he used his ult. I don't think he knew it was an X.
Like-
Pike ult is in the shape of an X.
Okay, yeah,
It
yeah.
executes if you're below a certain HP in that X. I don't think he knew that it was an X
Oh.
because they just walked straight. Like, he did it right on top of them, then they walked straight down, and he missed, and
It
he
missed,
said,
yeah.
"What?" in the chat. Like, he was. I don't think he knew like
Oh,
what was
no.
meant to happen there, and I was really not happy about that because my lane, bro. Like I was playing so good, and then my lane was gone. It was, I don't know, not my fault.
No, it's all good. It's all good. That game, yeah. The only thing I remember from that game was Mord.
I don't know why you had such a problem. You just.
I hate Mord. No, I hate Mord because they always ult me. I don't know why it's always
don't
me,
go
but they
to him.
always. But someone has to get ulted. And if
Then it
it's
shouldn't
going,
be you.
I know, but who should it be then? Our top that fed him?
Probably
our top that fed
someone,
him.
someone that I don't care about if they die.
Because we didn't have a tank to eat it.
Yeah, but like Mord kills them regardless, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like Mortal.
Oh, and here we go.
Yeah.
Love this graphic.
Yeah, honestly, why don't I get something cool like that?
No, you have the intro graphic.
That's
Have you
true.
seen
We
this
have an intro video. It's a
the
pretty cool
intro,
video.
it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Tune in for Tuesday night to see that.
Okay, this is interesting. Can we look at the top lane here or the jungle about? Yeah, this Remy is getting creative with it. And I guess he's just gonna hang out for a little
Ward's
bit.
the opposing blue sentinel.
Oh, I thought that it was Elise support for a second. I don't know why. I was like, oh man, the support is getting creative in the top jungle. But no, it's just me having the wrong character.
So he had
in
Remy
mind.
above his name, and we do know Remy's our jungler, right?
Honestly, I didn't know who was who on our team before today, so I'm getting there, unfortunately.
Okay, so we have, not too much, a little bit of a slower start than last game. I think we already saw a kill by this time last game. We see Ignis and Nye are going to be leashing for Vesuvius, which is pretty commonly seen in the lower ranks, but
Yeah,
I
it's
believe
a little outdated.
Yeah, a little outdated, as I remember not only you and Droid were telling me about that. Because look at the lane prio.
Yeah,
If we can
look
go to
at
ADC, they
what
have huge lane
Aphelios gets to
prio.
do.
Yeah.
We're gonna see probably a really early level 2 from our Aphelios Pantheon, and they're gonna probably abuse that pretty hard because this green Q is, I mean, they're gonna try and look for a kill probably here. They should get level 2 off this wave.
And there's the execute from Quokka to give
Oh,
Ali
there's
the
the lunge.
gold. And here we go. Quokka's
There's those
looking at
autos.
Nye.
Yeah,
He's gonna force mech
that's a
little
good
bit.
trade. So that Aphelios green gun really, like, just huge range. Same as Caitlyn. Then there's level 2 here. I want to see if they're making a play. Echo is on Amumu on his Raptors.
What? This is crazy.
Wombat
So
Baby
he's
is
looking for the
dead
dive. He's
here.
going to dive.
Okay, that's
2v1.
first blood. Okay, quick distraction from our bot lane there, but what a good one.
A bit of a troll from Wombat
Yeah,
Baby,
maybe. I guess he thought that he could. I don't know if I didn't see. Maybe Mel walked up and we didn't see. Maybe he thought that he had the angle to go for that. And look at the damage here that Aliplane's gonna get. That was a really good Q, making sure that you keep that brand low on health. And interestingly enough, they are kind of. Oh, that spear. That could have been it. But interestingly enough, they are targeting this brand. Oh,
Wow.
what a green Q. He marks him. He secures the kill from under tower. This is what I love
like
to
that,
see.
yep.
This is what I love to see. And then a trade happens in this top lane, actually.
Oh, no.
But Remy's dead, too.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's the feat of warfare down just like that. So I think what happened there is Silk Flannel killed Skeptic Wave and then got killed by his ability lingering. And then Remy cleaned up.
Yeah. So it's going to be Ball State down a kill already 2-3.
Yeah,
a lot
but
of kills have already happened.
not a bad look. There's a lot to be done here still in this mid lane, I think, as well as this bot. It looks like they're just going to play some pretty passive neutral laning right now. I think they're going to wait for this Xayah to maybe be out of mana. Aliplane is probably thinking about what he wants his first back to be. But Echo is...
And here's Remy
looking
for the
a dive,
gank.
actually. Yeah.
Ignis is very low on
that
health.
red Q is so good. That's so much damage.
Gets the root, I believe, on to... That was... Nine,
Oh,
that was
wow.
the first to fall. Now they're going to look
Ignis
for
got
the
the
dive
kill.
on Ignis. But Quokka falls somehow. I don't know if that was to
They have to look for the
turrets or
kill
something.
here. Oh, I don't think they can do it.
Nearly, Remy does not have enough health to tower dive. Aliplane might be
has
the
the wave
one to
pushed in.
try.
He just needs a purple hit, and
There he
that's
does.
it.
He gets it, yeah.
Okay,
So
a little messy, but you know they got it done. Not bad. 2 of those kills go on to Aliplane here.
Oh, and Silk gets
Silk
ganked.
wave. Oh, what a flash! Wow. Okay, so that was a great flash from Silk to get away, and he almost did it. I think. I think there was a bit of burn from the Amumu. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he has Scorch. I'm not too sure. Wombat Baby looking for a kill. Oh, he's rooted under tower. Oh,
Gets
he
the
flashes
trade.
and trades.
This
Wow,
is crazy.
This is an insane. This is a dirty game.
So it's still 6v6. We're still tied on kills.
Yeah, it's even
Trades
now.
are going back and forth.
Yeah, this is a weird game. Pantheon is in the top jungle.
Yeah, I expect that. Can we see what's going on? I think he's getting 2v1'd right now.
Oh, it's not
he's
looking
level
good.
3, 2v1ing a level
needs his
5 and a
Jace.
4. He needs to get out of here now. It's about to be a 3v1.
Oh, that's a
Bowling
flash.
Green has vision here. Silk comes to help
That's
out,
rough.
but now
And
Silk is the
probably
one
just
to
gonna have to run
his
away.
own.
Oh, the Cho'Gath Q.
Oh, and he's going to be CC'd pretty heavy. Wombat Baby and Remy are trying to help out.
They're pulling up.
We can make this a 3v3. Skeptic Wave is still level 4. No one has their ult yet because that unlocks at level 6.
Yeah, Jace damage.
It's going to be a 3v3.
Oh,
Here
what
we
a
go.
turn.
The CC is going to be
The shutdown goes
Vesuvius,
to
the
Silk.
first to fall. They're looking for Skeptic now. Remy's low health. He has to be careful. Skeptic gets completely slowed and rooted. There's nothing he can do. It's going to be Ball State winning that engage and taking the kill advantage.
Yeah, and that shutdown going to Silk there, really good. And that, I mean,
Oh, look for the tower dive on Mikoshi. He's going to fall to Wombat Baby, and now they might be able to take at least a good amount of that tower's plating.
yeah, that one plate there is also really important. Silk is going to be very strong from here on out because that Jace damage is just going to keep going up. We saw he hit Vesuvius 1 time, and this is a good engage here, actually.
Quokka's still level 3, looking for the 2v2.
Oh, good flash.
Good flash into the Q onto Nye. It's going to be Aliplane with another kill. He is now 3-0 to start this game with a 53-31 CS lead.
Yeah, and that was actually really well played there from Aliplane and Quokka. Quokka, I believe, hit the stun first onto the brand. And here comes Vesuvius, actually, for the gank.
Oh, it's a really strong gank, and Aliplane will do his first death! No, Aliplane falls for the first time this season, and they're going to clean up. Very, very good gank from Vesuvius, not only getting Aliplane, but also Quokka.
Yeah, that is just heartbreaking, first of all, there. Aliplane got his first death.
Wouldn't have died on Ezreal.
Yeah, he should have played Ezreal. I can't believe he listened to me. But, you know,
Wombat Baby and Mikoshi already both with their ult. They've hit level 6. So far, Amumu is looking to be a very, very good asset for this Bowling Green team. And it's just going to be neutral fights all across the lane. Wombat Baby down on health a little bit. We might start to see a little bit of a fight happen on those top Void Grubs here. As both teams are pinging Dragon and Void Grubs. Who will be able to take the first epic monster? And this is going to be Ball State. I wonder if we can see what's happening there. Ball State looking for Void Grubs. No, Quokka 1v1ing Mikoshi down 2 levels, but using his abilities to perfection, puts Mikoshi to half health and is getting that lane prio back for Wombat Baby. As there we go, Ball State, we saw that on the minimap, has taken the Void Grubs. Nye, the support of Bowling Green, trying to help out his mid laner a little bit, but now Vesuvius is going to get 2v1, caught completely out of position. We talked about it. Little mistakes can hurt a lot, but no. It's going to be Quokka that falls. Vesuvius was somehow able to escape that 2v1 and leave Quokka completely abandoned. Wombat Baby looking for the trade onto Nye is going to find it. Aliplane falls once again off screen. It's now Ignis going to try to help get the trade into Wombat Baby. The 3v1, Wombat can do nothing but run away.
yeah, I feel like, honestly, a lot of kind of miscommunication almost. A lot of those fights were taken at pretty inopportune times, and Bowling Green really capitalized off of that. I think these champions, it's hard for this early game here. the Pantheon is pretty strong, and the Echo, as we see, can get those kills. But I think they need to be really careful not to give up too many more like that, or else this game could potentially get out of control.
So it's a very even game. Ball State took Void Grubs, Bowling Green took the Dragon, and now Feats of Strength. So we talked about this a little bit. It's the best, it's the first to 2 out of the 3 following things. 3 kills, 3 epic monsters, and first turret to fall. So far, Bowling Green has the first point of Feats of Strength because they got the first 3 kills, but now it's going to be the gank from Remy, and the Skeptic Wave is now CC'd heavy. He's just going to escape with his life, barely. That was a very good time gank from Remy, just not enough damage to finish the kill. Anyways, talking about Feats of Strength a little bit longer, first turret is another one of the points, and then it's going to be a 1v1, a 1-2-1 tie so far on the epic monster point. So Feats of Strength is also very, very close and in the cards for both teams right now.
Yeah, I think it's looking good, though, for Ball State because Silk is in a really good position to take this tower because, I mean, you saw that damage come out onto the Cho'Gath. The Jace and Elise damage is just so strong in this early game, and Wombat Baby gets his projectile reflected there.
We talked a little bit about that. Mel's W, I believe it is a Genji deflect.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he got stunned by his own projectile. That's just the worst feeling in the world.
That's like when you sleep.
Oh, we might see a fight happen here. Good Q. Oh, good.
Oh,
Alipane gets that kill.
Nye absolutely just exploded by Alipane and Quokka.
Yeah.
That Pantheon and Alphelios do so much damage.
Yeah, that was a great play there from the both of them. Honestly, the Pantheon stunned to make sure that Alipane gets the free green Q, and then he consumes that mark. He immediately ults, consumes that mark too. There's just so much damage coming out there from that Calibrum ult.
Going for the tower dive. Quokka flashes out of the tower. It's Quokka does
it's
fall.
A tragedy.
Alipane gets the trade, but he's going to die tonight here. There's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
So they go for a tower dive, and I think what I saw there, Quokka gets he's the one tanking, flashes out of the tower itself. Alipane then becomes vulnerable, and they both fall.
Yeah. So also, I think more importantly, actually, that's the first.
Yeah.
Well, that is also more importantly, that's the feats of strength for Ball State, I believe. Actually,
no epic monsters.
Yeah, they need
so
epic
So
monsters.
both teams have 1 epic monster each. So the first team to get 2 more gets the feat of strength.
Yeah, that's my mistake. I forgot that we didn't get the first bloods there. But as I was saying, more importantly in that fight, Alipane ran out of his white gun, and that DPS loss was so massive that he couldn't secure that kill in time because he ran out of those chakrams. He had to wait for his incoming weapon, and he was barely able to finish off that Xayah in time. But it looks good here. Alipane is actually, he's going Yuntal this game, which I think is fairly strong on Aphelios because that attack speed is really nice. It means you don't really have to level your attack speed. So Aphelios is actually interesting in that when you level up, you don't level up abilities, you assign stats. So you can increase your attack damage, your attack speed, or your lethality, which is flat armor penetration.
And now we see Ball State taking the second epic monster, the Void Grubs, so that will put them in a lead for feats of strength. But now, Wombat Baby nearly dies to the 2v1 of Vesuvius and another member of Bowling Green. I didn't quite catch who it is. Quokka saves him. They both are on low health, so they both have to back here. Bowling Green winning that fight. As yeah, Quokka did just ult in.
What a
but
huge ult from
gets
Alipane.
2 for the 1. And yeah, you can talk more about that, yeah.
Yeah, just like I said before, I actually don't know if I mentioned it on cast, but the blue ult can do so much damage to a group of enemies, and we saw it right there. Both of them were low health, and he blue ulted them, and both of them just exploded from that burst damage.
And this is a tier 3 top turret already falling. They're also going to get the inhib. Unless Skeptic can say something about it, he is going to say a lot about it. He gets CC'd, which gives Remy and Silk enough time to get away. But yeah, look at that. Ball State already having 3 tiers of that top lane down. And Wombat Baby is just, I knocked that over, sorry about that. Wombat Baby is just kind of living life here in Bowling Green's top jungle. As Quokka going to try to do as much damage to that tier 2 mid tower, sorry, tier 1 mid tower as he can. But Bowling Green have 4 people here to try to defend it with their life. Now that dragon spawns in under a minute, but here comes the fight. It's going to be Nye who gets really low. He's able to escape with his life, but now Ball State have to be careful because not only is Wombat low, but Silk and Quokka aren't at full health either. They force Nye to back, so it is now a 3v3. Bowling Green still defending their turret for their life. The Dragon has spawned. If Ball State get that, they get feat to strength, but Wombat Baby low health, looking for the dive. He's able to get out of there. I don't know what ability that was, but he's able to escape with his life. He's going to have to back. Ball State looking for the tower, not able to get it.
Yeah, that was honestly really well played fights there. I think both teams were kind of afraid to really commit to anything, and Wombat Baby actually used his ult to get out there because he did not want to die. He didn't want to hand over another kill because these I think the objectives are coming up soon. The timers are actually not on the screen currently, but I believe they're coming up. And that entire fight as well, we actually were missing our Aphelios. He was split pushing on that bottom lane. He got the tier 1 turret for it. So I'm hoping that he has a good amount of gold. They're looking for a play here on Mikoshi.
Yeah, Mikoshi trying to back because he's low, but if he backs, then they just get this tier 1 turret for free. Matter of fact, they might get it without, even if he is still there, because Wombat Baby now has the minions. He pushes up and gets that tier 1 mid turret. So Ball State now have 4 turrets destroyed, all 3 tier 1s and the tier 2 and tier 3 up top. So 5 turrets destroyed. That's my mistake. And Mikoshi will fall to the clutches of Wombat Baby and Quokka as they get a really nice CC chain on him. And look at Silk. He's looking for the flank, it looks like. He's either looking for the flank or the split push. But now it's going to be a 4v4 here in, sorry, 4v4, yep. Still in mid, and that's going to be Nye who falls next on that brand as he stepped a little bit out of position, is going to fall. And that's just really well played team fight there from Ball State, I think.
Yeah, I think we're really just looking to press this advantage. Like you said, Silk is actually split pushing on that top lane. So they're forced to look at him, otherwise he's going to take your inhibitor. And you do not want Silk to take your inhibitor again. But here we see Ali playing. I didn't quite catch it. I looked away for just a moment. I assume he used his green gun to just poke the turret and no one could do anything about it because he's just so far away from you. So I think this is looking really good from Ball State here. What we're probably going to see happen here is as soon as Aliplane has a good gun combo, I want to see us push through mid really hard and take this tier 3.
Yeah, because as I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can talk more about this, Sun Guns have better range, Sun Guns have better DPS, and some do a lot of burst damage. As now Silk and Remy are going to take the 2v1 on Skeptic. Skeptic does not have a tower to fall under. They have to kill him before backup arrives if they want to escape with their life. Skeptic, or I believe that's Remy, is going to have to run away now. He's a bit sad he didn't get the kill. But Aliplane comes in with a flank with his guns. We talked about he has a blue gun now, how much damage output that can do. He finds one. He's going to find the second on Vesuvius. Skeptic now is going to fall, and Ignis with it, and the inhibitor as well. Mikoshi is not going to be able to help that inhibitor at all because it's a 3v2 here. Aliplane split pushing on that middle. The inhibitor is just going to fall, and there it goes. And Mikoshi trying to get a little bit of damage done, and he steps a little out of position, gets stunned, and will fall as well. But now it's not over. The Pantheon ult comes out from Quokka. Ignis is going to fall, as now they're trying to dive Nye. Nye dives next. Ball State may be able to end right here. Vesuvius at least finds a trade onto Remy. So now it's going to, oh no, he finds a trade onto Flannel and Remy, and Wombat's going to fall next, but Aliplane finds the retrade onto Vesuvius. He's going to do as much damage to that to that Nexus tower as he can.
Yeah, that was, I mean, just so many things happened there. Like you said, Aliplane again split pushing. Now he's fighting for his life, actually. He's gonna, oh, he got rooted.
Oh no, that's gonna be the 4th death for the season for Aliplane. We're really starting to count them up.
Yeah, I think we're to blame a little bit. But anyways, I think the play has mostly been great from him, first of all, I'd like to say. Maybe a few tweaks on the weapon order, but that's okay. Quokka engaging, just finds a kill on the Mel out of vision there, I think.
Crazy.
That is just really good engage. They're going to look for the tier 3 bot tower here now, I think, with Silk and Quokka. And I don't think that they can really do anything about it, unless, it looks like Quokka might just be leaving. They're not going to give.
Yeah, he's on too low of health. But maybe not Quokka and Silk looking for the bot tower. Maybe it's Wombat and Silk looking for the bot tower as Nye is low on health. He isn't going to be able to do much. If he tries to play under tower, he's just going to get delved. So he's going to have to back up, play really far behind Vesuvius. And there he falls. It's a very nice skill shot from Silk, as I believe it's Remy going to solo take Rift Herald, and he's going to have that Eye of the Herald where he's able to spawn the monster he just killed, which does mega damage to towers. As there he goes, he's able to get it. He's not using Smite. I think he knows it's uncontested, so he doesn't have to waste it. And if we go to mid, I believe there's a fight happening mid with Jason. I assume Remy is going to put that Rift Hero down mid and trying to see if they can get some of those Nexus turrets. As a blue turret falls, I didn't see which one that was. I think that was tier 3 bot, as now it's going to be an absolute onslaught. Here comes the team fight. Here comes the chaos. We didn't talk about this. Amumu is really good for team fights because his ult does a huge AoE effect that can do a lot of mass damage and CC to a team that's playing really close together. But now we have Remy. I don't know where he is. He has that Rift Herald. He's going to most likely spawn that and do mega damage to the Nexus turrets, but not quite yet. This is still the calm before the storm. This is everyone is sizing each other up, seeing what they can do. There's the Rift Herald spawn. I didn't see where that is, but that does not matter. First Nexus turret will fall. There's the Rift Herald. It's going to do massive damage to that Nexus turret. No, he missed. He missed the tower. The turret, and he might die for it. He has to flash to get out. He ults to get out. He does not live. So Remy missed the turret and misses the flash, and he's going to fall for that, but can his teammates clean up? Vesuvius and Aliplane are 1v1ing. Aliplane, sorry, Silk gets the kill on Vesuvius, looking for the kill on Septic as well. Nye playing under his tower to try to defend as much as he can. Aliplane, beautiful kill behind the Nexus on to Makoshi, I believe it was. Now they're looking for that tier 3 turret and for that third inhibitor, so they have absolute crazy powerful minions going to spawn soon. And I believe the what they're like called mega minions, right? They just super minions, crazy amounts of health and crazy amounts of damage.
Yeah, and those super minions, when you are triple inhib like this, 2 super minions spawn per wave actually. So these guys are going to be playing tower defense for a while here. I think Ball State is probably going to look for the dragon. I mean, only 1 dragon's been taken the entire game because there hasn't really been a need for those dragon buffs. So actually, it looks like we might just find a fight right here without the ADC, and it looks like it's looking good for Ball State so far. Big stun into Rose Nye.
As that's going to be the double kill for Wombat, baby. He is able to find Nye and Vesuvius, that is. So now it's going to be a 4v2 here for Ball State, and I don't think Bowling Green can do anything about this. Ball State might be able to end here. If Skeptic dies, this could just be a free end. It's still a 4v2. 1 falls, but 1 respawns. Ignis is going to be the next to fall, most likely. There it is, and Makoshi can do nothing but watch as Ball State finish the turret and win the match.
Yeah, honestly, I think that was really good play there from Ball State at the end. Taking the fight without your ADC, maybe a little questionable, but they were down. Bowling Green was down before the fight had started. So really not the end of the world, and they have so much damage there from the Jace. I mean, we saw it when they were taking the tier 3 tower. That Jace hit, I think, Amumu 1 time, and he was on an 1/8 of his health. There's just so much damage going out from that Echo, from that Jace, from the Elise, that you don't even necessarily need your ADC there, even though, you know, it would have been cool to see. But a lot of good plays happened there at the end, especially in that siege. Aliplane actually hit a huge ult that we've not really mentioned, and he was able to kill the Mel off of it, and he almost killed the Xayah too, even though he was on like a quarter health when that engage happened, because he played around his weapons so well there. And so it was a lot of those individual plays that we didn't even get to mention in the moment that really made that win happen there for Ball State at the end.
Yeah, it all happened so quick. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, that Amumu pick, I don't think we saw a single ult. I didn't at least see an Amumu ult. Maybe they happened off screen or wasn't really big. But Amumu ult is really good at winning team fights where everybody is grouped together, because essentially you can just go in the middle of them, place that AoE, and do mega, I believe it fears, it does a lot of stuff. But Ball State haven't been, they didn't do it the first map, they didn't do the second map, they've been doing a lot of split pushes. So they haven't been fighting in those groups, which is why I think the Amumu pick was maybe a little questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did actually see some Amumu ults, but I think that they didn't get quite as much value as we might have been hoping, because I think a lot of the time it was on those champions like the Jace or the Pantheon, where they're kind of just able to tank it.
Yeah.
And so I think the Amumu maybe wasn't the best individual pick at all there, but I think it had a lot of success in the early game, and they probably could have, if they maybe had gone without trading out so much, that it could have been a very different game for Bowling Green.
Yeah, you're right. Mumu did, on Vesuvius, did find a lot of those ganks. We're going to get the interview. It's on Wombat, baby. Yeah. Yeah. First question. No, I mean, no.
So, first question. What happened to my homework assignment, man? Also, can we not hear him?
Oh, no, we have to take a headset off.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Welcome on, my baby.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm confused what that question is supposed to mean.
Remember when Eric and I threatened your kneecaps?
Oh,
This is Bordy.
That's me.
Oh, my
Yeah, you
bad.
took points off my homework.
I mean,
It's okay.
get it all correct next
You
time.
deserved
I
it.
know. I'm
You
sorry.
forgot your inverter, dude.
I'm sorry.
true, you did do that.
I didn't mean to. You'll have to forgive me. Yeah.
So you played the Echo.
Yeah,
How
I
was
did.
that?
It was fun. I definitely did not play it as well as I could have. I haven't played Echo in a while.
I see.
Used to be my favorite character for a long time, but he's pretty bad right now.
Mhm.
But, you know, after the first game, we were feeling pretty good, so we were like, we can
Yep.
pick some stuff that we wanted to have fun with.
That's why Ali playing.
Yeah, he was playing Aphelios, and I was playing Echo, and I was like, you know, it's cool. So it feels good playing Echo, because he was actually the first character I ever played
Nice.
on the league team here, so kind of bringing it full circle today.
Mhm.
It was fun.
Yeah, so like you said, you weren't really playing champions that you're all too comfortable with or familiar with
Mhm.
right now, or that aren't maybe as good. Do you think that probably contributed to the game being a bit dirtier? Maybe some
Yeah.
more trades going out?
For sure. I mean, the first game, you know, we picked all the meta stuff. We
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
what was it? Skarner, Corki, Aurora, like all that
Yep.
stuff is super meta
Yeah.
right now, super strong. And the second game, we were like, you know, we think we can still win if we play some fun stuff, so we played some fun stuff. So
Yeah.
it was, and we also, if I do admit, we didn't focus as much as we could have in
Yeah.
the second game as well. So, you know, but it was fun. So glad we
Mhm.
still got the W today.
Yeah, and so actually, I don't really have any.
Do you have any questions?
No,
Shoot,
not
let me
particularly.
think. I wasn't thinking of some. I thought you had more.
Off the dome. Let's see.
Off the dome. Yeah. So, what do you think was? What do you think allowed you guys to win today? Was it? Do you think your teamwork was really good? We'll talk about the first map. We'll talk about the first. So was it the teamwork? Do you think it was the early lead? We saw Owl playing at a 30-4 CS lead to start the game.
Yeah, so going into this match, we knew that, I mean, we're a really good team.
Mhm.
In our conference, we're probably the best team in the conference. We have really good coordination. We've been practicing really well recently, so we're really confident going in. And, I mean, I think that helps us get really big early leads, like you saw, like the 34 to CS lead in the bottom lane.
Crazy.
And it's just like you can snowball that so easily,
Mhm.
especially in the new season with all the new objectives and you're
Mhm.
fighting so much. So if you get a lead, you're going to get a bigger lead and then a bigger lead.
Mhm.
And so it just kind of spiraled out of control for them, and there wasn't a whole lot that they could do.
And then
So-
I got one more final question. I thought of one as he was saying that. So we have 50% of your team is, I believe, English second language, correct? Because you have two that Korean, and then you
Yes.
have Ali playing who's Dutch.
Yeah.
So how do you guys get over that? Like, if their native language isn't English, like, what's the barrier there?
There's no barrier.
Okay.
Casper,
That's good to hear.
Ali Plane is, I mean, he's very fluent in English.
Nice.
Remy as well now, being here for 3 years, and Minsu is fluent as well. So
All right.
there's no language barrier, so it's no issues at all.
Nice to hear that. That's
really,
good.
really easy communication, as you can see in the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think something I thought was happening a lot, or that mattered a lot in that first game, was it seemed like the macro plays were really just on point.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of also what enables you to play Corki in that mid? Not exactly a role we typically see Corki in. I don't
Okay.
want to say very much.
I mean, right now Corki's just really strong,
Yeah.
and he can be either mid or AD. So it's a really powerful flex pick. Same with the Aurora.
Mhm.
That was part of our first draft. We pick Aurora first. We can flex it top and mid. Corki second. We can flex it mid and bot. And that Corki's really good at getting push. So if you have push in mid lane, then you can move to the objectives like the grubs and the dragons really easily. So that really helped us with snowballing the game in the first game. So
Yeah. Okay. And one last question for me. You guys just pick an order. Is this not the kind of
okay, so
draft?
about that, we actually draft on a link online first before we do it in the client, because not
Mhm.
everyone on our team has all the champions.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So if we drafted in client, we wouldn't be able to draft effectively because everyone would have to pick their own champions. So we draft on a separate website first, and then when we go on to the draft itself on the client, we just pick our own champion, so it's faster.
So
Okay.
that's what the gap. That's what the time gap
that's
is
why.
between draft and.
that's why it's such a big gap between games.
I see,
is
that
because
makes
we have
sense.
to draft offline first.
Okay.
So like and then the draft, because we know we had Aurora, Skarner, Corki, but in the actual draft it was Aurora, Corki, Skarner, and then
Mhm.
other different
Okay,
stuff.
yeah,
So-
see, because that's what I was talking
Yeah.
with him. I was like, yeah, I think maybe like Aurora in mid lane, and then we see Corki. I'm like, okay, I'm not too sure what's happening anymore. I was like, I'm not 100% sure what's happening. I thought they might be switching, but no. And so, yeah, that makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah, that's why we were like insta-locking it so fast too, because everyone knew.
Yeah,
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
knew what they were
everyone
going.
knew what they were
Mhm.
playing, so it's just really fast. So.
All right. Well, everybody, that was Wombat Baby,
All right, thank you for the
Ball
interview.
State's mid laner. He played Echo the second game. I already forgot who he played the first game. I guess
Corki.
Corki. We were
talked
just
about
talking
it.
about
Yeah,
it.
we talked
My
about it.
memory's terrible, I guess. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning into the stream. this is going to be the conclusion of our stream, but don't fret. Just Tuesday night at 8 p.m. You get to see this guy play some Overwatch, ESC. Don't know who it's against, but it's against somebody. This is going to be it for now, but make sure you come back Tuesday night, 8 p.m., and we'll see you guys then.
Great. Have a nice night, everyone.